Today, we're going to be talking about how to trade the news using the straddling strategy. The straddling strategy. Now, some of you might have heard about this strategy before. I'm going to mention a few things that we need to take note of this strategy. But before we proceed, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and of course, comment below. Now, as a disclaimer, kindly note that this information is strictly for educational purposes. And if you are going to be testing out this straddling strategy on high impact news, then you need to understand that there is high risk involved. So you should be able to calculate your volume lot size appropriately based on your account balance. Now, with that said, this straddling strategy is best used when you have high impact news. Why? Because during high impact news periods, there's going to be serious volatility that will be introduced to the market. And then as a result, most times there is going to be an explosion. That explosion could be to the upside or to the downside. Now, simply because you do not know the outcome of the news, you do not know the directional bias of the news, at times the news could be positive, but that currency pair could still go down. At times it could be negative, and then that currency pair might still go up. So either way, you need to what? You need to have a strategy if you're going to be trading the news. Please note that trading news is very dangerous, right? And as this is dangerous, it's dangerous in two ways. Dangerous in a positive way where you can make a whole lot of money. And I would also say this, brokers don't like this straddling strategy. And then also, it is what? It is also dangerous in the sense that you can also lose a big chunk, if not all your account balance in one sitting, simply because of the high impact news period. Now, you need to understand that straddling is a way where you try to take advantage of the volatility involved. Now, I'm going to zoom into this chart that we have over here. This is USD CAD. Now, by the way, since we're talking about high impact news, later today, we have high impact news coming out for the USD, and that news is known as the CPI. Today is April 10th, Wednesday, and if you look very well, by 1:30 p.m. UK time, we're going to be having news for the US dollar, which is known as the CPI. If you're not familiar with the CPI, Consumer Price Index, it's a very high impact news. As a matter of fact, it is one that could easily lead to whipsaws. It could easily lead to things like increments in spread. It could lead to some slippages and so on. So you need to be very careful with this news. At the same time, you can take advantage of the news. Now, because we don't know whether it's going to be positive or negative, whether the market is going to be going up or going down, what some traders try to do is to take advantage. Now, let's cross back to the charts, and I'm going to show you what some traders try to do. Now, looking at this chart that we have in front of us, the USD CAD 4 hours. I'm using 4 hours for a reason, simply because we're going to be expecting some big candles like this ones that we have on the chart, right? You have some big candles over here, some big candles, as you can see, the markings over here. So it is for us to try to take advantage of these massive candles that will be coming out in a bit. How? Now, if you look at this area, right, I'm going to circulate this area here where we have the recent candles. You notice that this is the present candle that we have now, right? Don't worry about the colors. Over here, we use green for the sellers and then red for the buyers, just in case it is confusing you. Because typically, traders say, oh, the red candles are for selling and then the green candles are for buying. But in the classes that we conduct, we change the colors around to explain to new traders, even struggling traders, that it is not about the candles, or rather it is about the what? About the direction. It is this direction that we're trying to take advantage of now, for this CPI, the Consumer Price Index news coming out in a bit. Now, if you look at the previous 4 hours candle, it's a 4 hours time frame we're looking at on this Loni, the USD card. This previous candle, you can see that it has a high over here and it has a low over here. Now, what does this mean? This simply means that prior to the news coming out, let's assume the news is coming out in the next few minutes. What traders tend to do is to set a pending order to buy above over here. I'll put a B over here, a penny order to buy above over here, and then another penny order to sell below over here. The concept now is that for straddling, when the news comes out, it's either going to blast off to the downside or blast off to the upside. So if it blasts to the upside, it picks up your buy position, your buy pending order. What you need to now do is to quickly close the sell pending order, right? And then watch as it moves. Because if it explodes, it can explode very fast to this point over here, and you can cash out very fast. And you can see this is one major reason why brokers do not like this strategy. You understand this strategy, you know how to use it during news period. Trust me, you can make a whole lot of money within a short period of time. Don't forget the flip side, you can also lose a lot of money during this high impact news period. So you need to also understand the pros and the cons of straddling strategy. So this is what most traders would do. As an example over here, I could easily right click and then set a buy pending order, which is a buy stop above there. And then over here below, I could set what? I could set a sell pending order below. Forget the concept now is based on this candle here that I am marking, it's either going to break to the upside or break to the downside. And try to set your pending order, not too close to the high of the candle and the low of the candle. Give some little pip buffer. Give some little buffer just in case it breaches a bit and then goes the other way. Don't forget, another danger, as we said, is that it could pick up the two pending orders. Now, what if you now set a stop loss for this buy and then you set a stop loss for this sell pending orders? Because of the volatility introduced in the market, you could have a sort of whipsaw that ends up picking the two and then even closing the two stop losses. It's very, very it's very possible, rather, sorry for the English, it's very possible that that could happen. And that is why you need to understand the dangers of any and every strategy that you're using, especially during news period, right? So this is just one major way that traders can make a lot of money during news period. Don't forget, brokers don't like this strategy. I believe some brokers don't even allow straddling on their platforms, right? Good. So as we've talked about this strategy, it's for you to understand the good, the bad, the ugly, and then decide on if you're going to be giving this a trial. You could always test this on the demo account for some key news coming out, like you have the CPI coming out later for the US dollar. Even for the card, you have the monetary reports coming out. You have other high impact news. You would easily have the non-farm payroll at the beginning of every new month. You have different news coming out here and there, key news that you know that the volatility is going to be high and you can take advantage of it. Imagine this chart that we have in front of us. Let's assume this period here, there was news about to come out. And you mark the highs here, you mark the lows here, and then it picked up the buy position here, you would have made a whole lot of money. Or maybe another period now where this big candle is. You put a buy penny order above this and then a sell penny order below this. It picks up your buy penny order, and then as it rushes up, your sell penny order below was not triggered. You close it, and as it moves higher, you quickly make some good money when it probably gets to these highs over here. And then you close within a few candles or whatever the case might be. Now, you could do this on any time frame, but I'm just showing you this on the 4 hours time frame because it is much stronger than the lower time frames. The lower time frames would easily have whipsaws and some other nuances that will be happening over there. Now, I'm going to be stopping over here. Once again, we have been talking about how to trade the news, the high impact news, using the straddling strategy. As an example, the CPI news coming out in a bit. If this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up. You can give it a trial just before the news comes out in a few hours. Give it a try and see how it goes. So if the video was helpful, give it a thumbs up, ask questions, and of course, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Thank you guys. It has indeed been a good one. Enjoy the rest of the day. Trade safely and goodbye for now. Cheers.